17 different managers have tried since Chelsea last won it in 1955. 320 different players have been involved. 2,051 games have passed. 3,155 goals have been scored. 830 wins later, Chelsea are champions again. He's had a season to learn the words, hasn't he, Abramovich? They're not difficult. What is it? One man went to mow a meadow?
I think it's going to be mowing for quite a long time tonight, Richard, that's for sure.
I've got a present for you. There you go. You can take that away with you. How does that feel? Champions of England, Chelsea at last, again, 50 years later. I mean, a few of you have had a go, Kerry, haven't you, trying to deliver that for Chelsea?
There's a few got close, Richard. We saw last week that's plenty of side threatened, but this side have actually delivered, and that's what it's all about. The fans out the back there actually really enjoying it, and there's another 50,000 of them more now, actually somewhere in the pub, somewhere in the country, revelling in the fact that this team has finally delivered.
Give them a wave, because I think they've spotted you. Andy, as you can see, has also rejoined us. And this trophy, by the way, that we have with us here today will not be presented here. It will be presented next Saturday ahead of the home game against Charlton. It's a 12 o'clock start. We will be there, Andy, won't we? Sum up for us what we've seen from Chelsea this year.
Pretty much everything. I was interested in listening to Jose Mourinho explain what his team were, because that's exactly why I think they're champions, because they've won with flair, they've won with excitement, they've won when they've had to dig in, they've won when they've not played particularly well, and they've won like today, ugly. And you need to do all of those things if you're going to be champions of your country. And that's exactly what they've done. That's what Manchester United have done for 10 years. That's why Arsenal have contested the last 5 or 6 years with them, because they know how to do that. Chelsea have learnt that with Mourinho, and he's learnt very quickly. And I think his team selection here showed everything about him, how quickly he's taken to this league, how quickly he's adapted, and how quickly he respects teams like Bolton, and he says, I'm going to respect you. I'm going to pick a team that needs to be big, strong and powerful and compete against you. And when we've done all that, maybe then our great players, like Frank Lampard today, will do something special.
I did say at half-time, Andy, I felt that Jose will say something to the team and they will find something, and in the second half, whatever happens, they'll produce a different performance, and they did exactly that.
Wasn't it fitting that Frank Lampard sealed it here?
Absolutely. I mean, the other thing you need is a little bit of luck and decisions. I mean, that to me, that's as good a free kick as you're going to get. But Steve Dunn, for once in the game, didn't. But then forget that and just admire the quality of the finish. That's a foul. I mean, it doesn't matter where you play, you get a foul for that, 99 times out of 100. But from then on, it's all about this guy.
Not necessarily in a physical game against Bolton, when there's a lot of pushing, shoving, and certain things have gone either way, Andy. You know, Frank's done wonderful to finish that. Forgetting the fact of whether it's a foul or it's not, he's still got 2 men to beat and put it in the back of the net, and he's done it fantastic.
Absolutely. Cool head. And he looked great. And then this, I mean, obviously Bolton are chucking everyone forward. They're looking to spring. And just watch Roberto Carvalho. He wants the ball, but he actually goes too far in front. He would have been offside. He's ahead of the ball. But Frank's not having any of it. And it was no surprise to me that he suddenly just nicks it out. I mean, look who's that. People have talked about Makelele. All he does is sit in front of the back four and just give the ball to somebody else. But you saw his ability there. He's won the ball under pressure, slipped the ball through to Frank. Thanks very much.
Andy, that's the composure of a man full of confidence. He's got 18 goals this year. I was trying to rack my brains with Richard earlier on. When was the last midfield player to score 20 goals in a season? I mean, Richard said something about Scholesy maybe, but striker, midfield player?
Maybe. David Platt might have at some time. You know, but it's that good. The players are back out again, just behind us there. Back down to the fans. He's out. Good.
It would be lovely to hear something from him.
It would be.
Now's the time.
I think we've waited a year. He's still very much, although he's full face, we all know what he looks like, we all know his smile. But we don't know what he believes, what he sees, how he feels about this huge investment he committed to Chelsea. There's absolutely no doubt that without him, this would not have happened. And without him, Chelsea might not be the club, well, they wouldn't be the club they are, but they might be, you know, well, who knows what would have happened to Chelsea. All sorts of stories about, you know, 2 weeks before they went bump.
They'd have been bust.
And he pops, rescues them, funds a spending spree. But you touched on it earlier, and I think it's the most important thing we must never forget. And anybody that suggests Chelsea have bought this title is wrong in my opinion. Yes, they've spent more money than a lot of clubs, but in 30 years I've been in England, I've seen many managers given money to buy a title, and very few of them have been able to do it because they haven't had that X factor, that ability to piece a team together and put it all right. Mourinho has that X factor. So him and the players have won that title.
You saw the bond afterwards when you spoke to Jeff Shreves down there, and he said about this group is special. He might have said in the past he's special. Now he's saying the group is special. He said before it's not a team. Yeah, they've got the cup down there.
It's only a week now to wait because it will be presented. As I said, this trophy that's behind us here, they've seen, and those supporters can see too, next Saturday, 12 o'clock start, Stamford Bridge. That is going to be quite a party. Ahead of that, of course, there's business to be done from their point of view at Anfield this coming Tuesday, the second leg of that Champions League semi against Liverpool. One or two are still in the dressing rooms. Idago Johnson, of course, started his career in England here at Bolton. He's with Jeff Shreves.
Ida is one of Chelsea's longest-serving players. What does this mean?
Well, I said it earlier, it's definitely the proudest moment in my footballing career, if not my whole life, apart from the birth of my children.
You've been at Chelsea a long time. What changed? What's different about Jose Mourinho?
Well, I think you can see, not just because we won, we're brothers out there. We love playing with each other, we love playing for each other, and that's the biggest difference.
Now, the fella over in the corner, Roman Abramovich, what's he like to have around? He doesn't like to speak to us in the media. That's fair enough. What's he like for you guys?
I think just with him being here shows his enthusiasm for the football, for the club, and it shows that it's not just a hobby. It's something that he really puts a lot of heart into.
He's a real fan, is what you're saying.
Definitely. He's a fan of football and obviously a big fan of Chelsea.
And now, what about you? You got a big, got a big game in the week. Have you got any concerns about over-celebrating?
No. I think we'll do the celebrations in here, and that's it. Tonight we'll obviously have a little bit of a celebration, but fairly quiet. And then tomorrow it's all about Liverpool.
Joe, you said this was a childhood dream. How does it feel now it's finally landed?
Yeah, fantastic. Different class. Just can't believe it's happened. I think it's happened so quick. Such turnaround for me personally from last couple of times I was here. So it's fantastic.
When you talk about this season, you say the turnaround. At one point, it looked like you were out, and you maybe had to do some soul searching. How does that feel now compared to this moment?
It feels brilliant. I can't even put it into words. It's just, it's just what you play for, and I just can't believe it. I'm buzzing on top of the world.
Was there a point where you thought I might not be part of this? And look at you now.
Yeah, there was a point I did, but I've got to thank the fans for that.
But can you go on and make it 3 this season? What about the Champions League?
Why not? Tuesday night, we're going to be flying now.
As we can see, not exactly muted celebrations.
I've got to stop. 3, 2, 3.
Go on, Joe.
We've got to go home with him. He's going to smell of champagne all the way back to London, isn't he, Jeff?
He will, Jeff. Well, that's the first time.
And out they come again, the champions of England, Chelsea, have at last got their hands, or will have their hands, a week today on the Barclays Premiership Trophy.
I think the last thing you'd want is big Robert Huth landing on the top of that.
That'd be a good show, yeah.
That's a very
He's
good
got
point.
to go on the bottom, hasn't he?
Steady, lads, there's a game to come Tuesday night. How will they go into that now, psychologically, having won it here today, the second trophy of the season? What will that make?
That's a toughie, and I'll tell you what, I think it's tougher than you think, because the relief now of having won the title, it's theirs. They must have thought for the last 5 weeks they were going to win it, but to actually have clinched it today, 3 days before one of the biggest games of the season, it could relax them too much, if you know what I mean. They could switch off a little, but I don't think so. I don't think this group of players suggests that's going to happen. So I think that that's probably the worst thing that could have happened to Liverpool, was that Chelsea have clinched the title today. They will be on such a high, but I think a controlled high. I don't think Mourinho will allow them to get too carried away with this just yet. There is work to be done, a lot of work to be done.
You've just heard Joe Cole there say, Andy, that after today we're going to have not too much of a celebration, and Idago Johnson said exactly the same. Liverpool, that's what they're going to be focused on, and like Jose said before in the week, 95% of Liverpool think they're already in the final. This team is a very resilient team, and they're going to go there to do a job, and not many people would bet against them doing that job.
They've done it. This trophy is going back to Stamford Bridge. It will be there a week today. It's a story, of course, that started last summer when the worst-kept secret in football was finally confirmed.
I'm delighted this morning to formally announce and welcome Jose Mourinho as the new manager and coach of Chelsea.
We have top players, and I'm sorry, I'm a bit arrogant. We have a top manager. I'm European champion, so I'm not one of the bottle. I think I'm a special one. I will create a better team than Arsenal, because every team is different. Every team is different. What I say is that one day, can be this season, can be next season, but one day we will be champions. They didn't play football, they just defend. And as we say now in my country, they brought the bus and they left the bus in front of the goal. I want pressure. I'm not afraid of make mistakes. I'm not afraid of, in the end, to fail and people to say you want to win the championship and you didn't.
Worried about the effect of playing so many games over Christmas?
My team is very well by the physical point of view, but I just think it's too much. I just think it's too much.
You said to your players, chuck your shirts into the fans, yes?
Yes, because they were fantastic, and they understand what the game was. That was not a good game of football, it was a fight. So we are ready for everything, ready to play football, ready to fight, always with a big spirit.
Regarding the Ashley Cole saga, are you concerned the effect this episode may have on this club?
No. In me, the effect is zero. Fulham don't deserve to lose. In this moment of the season, I think we deserve to play better. We deserve to be champions playing better. You know, we deserve to be champions giving a very good performance at home. Maybe it's better. Arsenal beat Tottenham and let us cool in the hotel waiting for the next weekend.
They are champions at last after a 50-year wait. Chelsea are the tops. And they're in blue heaven right now. We're not finished at the Reebok yet. We'll be back with more reaction to Chelsea's title win in a moment or so.